Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I've got this Zodiac Seawolf that I'd like to share with you. This is a vintage inspired or a retro inspired dive watch modeled after the original Zodiac Seawolf that debuted back in 1953. So one of the very first actually automatic Swiss dive watches with a rotating bezel. And it's really cool. It's a really fun watch. I, along with a few other guys, we purchased this pre-owned. We each wanted to try it out. And I've spent a couple weeks with it, and I just want to share with you my thoughts about the watch. Retro-inspired divers, they're kind of hot right now. You know, there's a lot of good ones out there. The Oris 65, the Tudor Black Bay. It's kind of, I think, the latest thing. And this one is actually really good value for money. So you can pick one of these up. Brand new, and a couple different dial options, bracelet options for about $550 US, and we spent $400 pre-owned on this one. So you can find some very attractive deals, and for the price point, I think you get a lot of watch. You get some great detail work on the dial. This one has the kind of ivory or silver sunray finish to that dial. You can see it kind of catches the light. It's very, very sharp, and I think makes the watch look a little bit bigger than its 40 millimeter diameter, just because of the light dial paired with the stainless steel bezel. If you look at the indices, you can see there's kind of a railroad style rectangular indice on all of the indices except for the classic triangle or pizza style indices for the 12, 6, and 9 o'clock positions. Again, that's modeled after the original Zodiac Seawolf. Now, I will say that this Zodiac here, this is not the exact same company as the original. This is now owned by the Fossil Group, and Fossil actually puts their own movement. They call it in-house. This is called the STP-1-11 movement, and you can see it's essentially an ETA 2824 clone. And this is actually finished very, very well. I'm impressed with the level of detail. And I'll be honest, it actually, you know, when you're operating the crown, you're setting the time, it's actually smoother action than a real ETA or a Solitas. So I've actually been pretty impressed by the movement. It does have an instantaneous date changeover feature at midnight, and mine's running about +5, +6 seconds per day. So right on the outside of COSC specifications. Again, if you look at that dial, you can see an applied metal logo. It catches the light very, very well, and those Dauphine style hands just look really, really cool. So my favorite part about this watch is actually the Jubilee style bracelet. It has a nice taper to it. It's very comfortable on the wrist. One thing to note, it does not have screw links. This does have a pin and collar system. Just for your information, it's still secure, but it is a little bit tricky to size if you're inexperienced with sizing bracelets. But the reason why I love this so much, it is so comfortable on the wrist for a number of reasons. So here's a shot of it on my 7.25 inch wrist. It sits very nicely. Those lugs arc down, and the reason why I love this so much is your end link here fits very snug against the case. And you can see the bracelet articulates in between these long sweeping lugs. So you get really good range of motion. There's a nice taper. And then you've got an ingenious clasp system. So the way you operate this, there's again the logo, is you flip this open. And then there's a hook system here. And you just thread it through and press it down. So when you put it on wrist, there's actually no, folding clasp that would be in between the bracelet and your wrist. It ends up just being so smooth and seamless. And the coolest thing is there is a little bit of a spring extension system. So it's like butter on your wrist. It's so nice. It's so comfortable. And the Jubilee style really, looks sharp. It really catches light, and I think complements this vintage design very well. All right, so what are the negative points about this watch? Well, I think there's really only two. The first one is your luminescence. Now, you would think looking at this, it appears a little bit, neon or phosphorus green. So you'd think, hey, maybe this is just really nuclear C3 superluminova, but it's not. The lume is a little bit disappointing. It's not very long lasting, and I really wish that they would have used a nicer quality compound. The second negative is the bezel operation. It's not bad, but it does have play. It's just a little bit not quite on par with the rest of the watch, in my opinion. I think if Zodiac would just do nicer lume, maybe improve that bezel action, this would be just a heck of a watch. I mean, it already is really, really fun. I like a lot of things about it. It does come with a pretty nice box here. You can see it's actually genuine wood. You have a raised metal logo and you know, a microfiber material here. So I'm impressed with the overall package. If you can find one at a really good price, you know, $400, $500, I think it's well worth the money. Even if you're not getting a name brand ETA movement, you can see this is finished very well, and mine's been performing very accurately. So I've been very impressed with this watch. I think it's been a really fun one. I do hope that I win this tour. I think I've just had a great time with it. So those are my thoughts. Does it have downfalls? Yeah, you know, there are a couple downfalls. That could be said with any watch. It is not the exact same company as it used to be, but for the money, it's pretty cool. So anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will catch you in the next video. Cheers.